Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to day 8 of Creative Quarantine. Woo! Yes, indeed. 8 complete days. Who would have thunk it? But we've made it to day 3. Day 8. I got my numbers all screwed up in my head. The artists are in various stages of development, from still prepping to execution to originals being completed to it's all over the place. And we got some that are still trying to gain momentum, and we have a few that are not feeling so well. So, with that being said, hello, Louise.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, it's going. It's going. I think it's going well.
I was thinking, when we start, we always jump right in, and tell me a little bit about your day, how things got started. What were you, share a little bit.
Well, that's boring stuff, but that's what women want to know. So I'm going to follow you on this. I got up this morning at 12 o'clock. My days are getting later and later instead of earlier and earlier, but I am resting my body. I'm a person that lives with cancer, so my energy level can fluctuate from time to time. I am doing very, very well despite that diagnosis. And so I have to watch my hours, because I'm in the grind right now between programming and getting on the table. I've been really grinding out some work despite all the things that's going on. I'm trying to monitor the artists. All of them are having different issues at this point, solvable issues at that. As you develop a project like this, sometimes things just come up that you gotta find a solution to. So we are learning on the job.
We're learning on the job. I know. So, did you stay late last night? Because I know you were in the grips of working on some stuff last night.
Yeah, my average departure time has been between 12 and 3:30 in the morning. But I've been still averaging 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
Okay.
So I get up when my body is up.
Okay.
And I start the cycle all over again. And so I usually, because the show airs at a certain time, I try to come in, get my content ready, work on a couple pieces, Then the show comes on. I work while the show's on. Then the show goes off. Then I'm still working here until I look at the clock and I go, okay, I think you need to go home.
You better go home. So
That's
I
right.
thought yesterday was really, really fun. You did some really, did some new stuff, tried some new things. I thought it kind of had a whole nother vibe to it, which was kind of nice.
I think that's to be expected, that the show will evolve over time as artists adjust. I mean, most of the artists, I would say, to at least 10 of them, are not used to being in front of the public and not be used to broadcasting themselves, being in front of a camera. And so you're talking about being fast-tracked for the first week, not only with just learning technology to be able to show your content, but being able to just, balance that out while working too. So I give all the artists credit where credit is due. This process is new to all of us. We have broken all records by making it to day 8. And by the time 31 is over, I think we might have cemented the record for the longest broadcasted show for a while, because we might have to go on a vacation, masks and all.
I think so. Everybody's like, let's just pack up and go. Let's pack up and go. So definitely. So
what about you? I mean, you asked me how my day was. How was your day? Because you're my partner in crime in this whole thing. You have my back, I have your back, and I know you got all kinds of things you juggling over there. So what's going on in Colorado, Fort Collins?
Colorado, Fort Collins is, it is doing its thing. It's doing its thing, and I'm doing my thing. I think my eyes are a little lower than usual. But I have been getting my sleep and things like that. I got up a little later today, probably about 9 or 10 today. So, but I'm making it happen. And I did stay up late, just working on the things that like when you and I both were finishing up some stuff. So of course we wanted to stay late. But the other thing that I had to catch up on was my devotional, because I'm actually doing going through the Bible in a year. So I'm a couple of days back. So.
You might end up being 30 days back if you don't keep up.
So I
who knows? Maybe that'll show up in your work. Maybe that'll be included in the direction of your work.
Right. I had to stay up a little later to do some catch up. But everything's been working out really well. I find that I really enjoy what's going on right now. And I have, I get to talk to artists, they call me, especially like you said, they have some problems. Being able to help problem solve for them is really great. And it just tells me that they're all in, they're all in.
Well, the funny thing is we tried to do a couple things with this new project. So we tried to send everybody iPads so that they can document their experience. I need some coffee for that one, because the person that we bought the iPads from gave us a unit cost that was prohibitive, and we have iPads that did not end up being able to do the job that was required in this platform. So learning process received.
Right. They work really well, though. Let me tell you, because I've tried tons of things with them, but they work really well for the Bible app and doing your devotional on. So I'm using that one. So I'm like, okay, I don't have to use my other devices. I can do I'll just sit here with that one.
You're different because you have multiple devices there. I'm really addressing this to artists who had no technology, and they're having problems with not only learning the iPad, but learning what to do with this iPad. So it's still good enough for them to document their experience, their videos and everything, but they have to unload those videos fast as they do them, because the iPads don't store much. So it's been a real learning experience trying to put out those types of fires. And we have some artists that have bandwidth issues. So they might have a good connection one day, poor connection next day. We try to work around it the best way we can. But so far, everybody's game. You might see a frozen screen every now and then, but that's part of the deal.
That's part of life. That's part of being alive.
So we're going to get this party started. I got something that Michelle sent me that I've been holding on to. So it's just a reflection of her first week. So here we go.
Cool.
Here is my diary, day 3, creative quarantine. I'm feeling a lot better today than I was yesterday. I have to admit, when I started yesterday, I was a little panicked. Today, I'm feeling a lot better. I have I spent last night sketching some pictures onto canvas and editing some videos so that I could see what was working, what wasn't. I've changed lighting and I've added a microphone, and hopefully that'll help with the sound. And watch, I'm going to walk away with this microphone attached to me at some point, but we'll get there. And I'm excited to start a few projects. I think I might even finish a couple of the tiny paintings today. I wanted to see if I could just get the brush in my hand and see what finishing a thing feels like. Because for me, sometimes it's really hard to get over the inertia of not painting for a while. And once I start getting going, I can knock out a bunch of paintings all at once. But the key is to have the brush in my hand. And I really think it's the physical act of moving the brush against canvas that seems to be the trigger for really getting into the paint. And that's what I'm looking forward to feeling today. And I really hope that that's what happens. Today was a lot better. My kid did not have a fit this time going with me coming here, although that may have had something to do with letting them download the new expansion to Pokemon Sword and Shield. But you do what you can. And I'm looking forward to a lot of things. Presenting was harder than I expected. I have to say, I didn't realize that I would have such performance anxiety. I have no problems videotaping myself conversing alone in my studio, but knowing that people are watching live is really hard. It makes me feel like I can't paint. Yesterday, when I went to go paint a fox onto a picture, the fox had broken legs, and I couldn't remember how to draw legs of foxes, despite the fact that I've been drawing foxes for 15 years. You would think that I would know what a fox looks like. Performance anxiety does that. So hopefully I can get over it. And, it's only day 3, so I've got time. It'll be fine. Have a good one. See you soon. Here I am starting a painting I sketched last night. This one is of a raven holding the moon. It's been a kind of idea that I've sketched out a couple times, and I'm looking forward to starting it. I thought that this would be a fun project to try this glass medium that I bought from Liquitex. It's a clear acrylic medium with glass beads in it. The glass beads will show, theoretically, the glass beads should show the color that I lay down underneath. So I was going to lay down some nice bright greens and teals and maybe even a little purple. And I'm going to try some metallics in this one because unlike some of the paintings that I do, this one's not meant for reproduction. So I can use pigments that won't reproduce in print form. So right now I'm going to be laying down the base colors that are going to be showing through, and then I'm going to use Payne's Gray over everything, kind of wash it. And my goal is to have it look like there's the Milky Way coming across, and here's the moon and this raven. I'm going to seal the raven sketch with airbrush medium because I like sketching in pencil because I often like to sketch directly on the canvas, and pencil can be removed easily. But the downside of pencil is it can smear and it can dirty up the paint. So I want to seal that in there. This will also make the sketch a little bit brighter, which might be a problem if I was doing something else. But in this case, it's going to be painted in dark colors. So having it show through a little bit is not a bad thing. But this will also make sure that the subsequent layers of paint will stick. It'll keep that from smearing. The nice thing about acrylic is, especially when you paint as I do, there's a lot of layers you can add. So if you mess up one layer, you can fix it the next. So like this is going to be the moon, and I'm going to want to bring that bright white back, but I can always regesso if I need. But this way the sketch isn't going anywhere, and it'll stop smearing every time that I move my hand around the canvas. I also use anything as mixing palettes. This actually has color already on the other side. These are the covers of very useful boxes. I use them for all sorts of things, including, like, that's actually the brand name, Very Useful Box. But I even use them for shipping sometimes. These are color shift paints. So when painted on, it's green in the bottle, but when painted on, this will actually be kind of a gold. And from some angles, it'll be green, and from some angles, it'll be gold. And I really love the effect. This one actually turns, I believe, green this one's purple when in certain light. I'm going to paint these around the outside or mix them in with the color too. The green, I love this green because it's really good for making lighting pop. So I was going to just put this subtly around the moon because it'll make the moon have a glowing effect in the end. And I don't want it to look like the raven itself is glowing. Backlit, sure, but not glowing. Because it's the moon that should be the primary visual. So let's see. We'll start the touch of this color, and I'm just going to mix this into the teal too, because it'll make the teal a little bit brighter. And ultimately, we're going to be putting a lot of layers of dark colors on this. So let's get the teal. This is a little bit. And I was very lucky. The reason why I have these glass beads is because AC Moore actually closed down last year around Christmas. The Holyoke Mall is the only AC Moore in the area. I think the closest one now is Boston or Rhode Island. But they clearance out all their paints, and I went and was able to afford paints that normally were far out of my price range, like the $20 orange, which was very nice. This is a $15 medium, and normally I wouldn't spend $15 on something experimental, but they clearanced it out to less than $6, and at almost like a little over a third of what it's worth. Yeah, I'll try that. And if I like it, then maybe I'll buy some more in the future. I really like to find things on clearance when possible. I always use airbrush medium instead of water. Sometimes I use a touch of water, but the airbrush medium keeps the paint film intact, especially in the base layers. I used to use a lot more water, and then I started having adhesion issues, and that was a real learning experience. So it creates a very chalky finish. So I'm not going to be too careful about where I paint this. This is just the base layer. I'm probably going to do 2 coats because I don't want the white streakiness. That can be a nice effect sometimes when you do it right, but I typically like a nice thorough thing. But I don't mind a little subtle color variation. That's why I'm mixing the 2 colors together, because that'll create a beautiful effect later. I don't want to use too much of that green though, because in the end I want that green to pop where I purposely put it. I'll speed up the process in a few minutes. The thing about painting a thing like this is it's done in layers, and then you put it aside. You don't want to try to rush it all at once. You want the layers to thoroughly dry in between, especially like when I add that medium's going to take time to dry. There's no help in that. And so I'd actually originally just painted, I have several canvases like this, and I knew I was going to do a series of animals with space backgrounds. And so I took the edges and I painted them Payne's gray, a couple of layers, because I knew that was a time-consuming task. While I didn't know what this was ultimately going to end up, I did know that would save me some time. I want to get more of that green, but I want to switch brushes because I want that green in the peak area. Kind of whooshing my brush around. I use cheap brushes for these steps because I am pretty hard on my brushes, and it doesn't make sense. Like, if you have a really, really nice brush, You don't want to destroy the bristles. I'm just letting that blue kind of seep in. Ultimately, it'll make a nice effect. It'll kind of unify that curl. Now that your bristles a bit drier. Thankfully, acrylic dries really fast and it's very dry in here. All right, let's see. Where did I put? And I keep a couple things of paint water when I work with acrylics. I keep a very dirty bin where I wash off my brush first, and that keeps the brushes moist. And then I have a cleaner water that after I wipe the rest of the dirty water out of the brush, that I finish up. And I found that that's an economical way of not contaminating as much water, because ultimately, while technically these are non-toxic, they are microplastic. And I just really don't want to put microplastics in our environment. So I don't want to be putting that down any drain, even though it's considered safe too. So I've developed a technique where I try to contaminate as little water as possible, and the dirty water I put near the radiator to just, I want it to kind of evaporate out. And then what I do is I actually put it in plastic cups, and by doing so, I can then throw out the plastic cup after the water's evaporated out, which leaves all the pigment behind. And that means that none of the pigment goes in the water supply, because who wants to drink that? Not toxic or not. Well, this is a cheaper teal. It's got excellent coverage, and it's got good, what's it called? I've even used this on my electric box outside because it has decent light fastness. It's light fastness 1, and that's really more important to me than is it made of some fancy stone? It's a student quality paint, so there's less pigment in it, but that just means you need more coats. As long as the light fastness is there, that's what matters to me. You don't want to make a painting that falls apart. Looks like I'm going to have to go in with some white because I forgot just how translucent that lovely green is. It's called Brilliant Yellow Green. But it really can, if you use it just right, produce a beautiful glow. I use it a lot on I do space shoes for commission. And it is a popular effect. Sometimes I'll even put glow-in-the-dark paint over it. Ultimately, there's going to be dark streaks. This is going to be more of a diagonal. But I'm going to try some of this. This is actually, I'm just experimenting here. Like, this is not me being an expert. I've used these on models, but I've never used these in a painting, but they are quite beautiful. And I absolutely love the effect. And after doing some paint pours with mica involved, I really wanted to try introducing more mediums like that, where you have this beautiful shimmer effect. Ultimately, this painting is going to be, when I'm done with everything, I'm going to gloss varnish it. The gloss varnish will really bring out the color, but it'll also unify. Like, one of the things when you use different kinds of acrylics all together is, especially different brands, they can have different finishes. Some can be matte, some can be, I'm going to guess, from the effect of this medium, it's so translucent that I think that I would be better off painting in the Payne's Gray before adding more of that. But hey, it's a learning experience. So I'm going to add in the Payne's Gray. And then after I'm confident with my underlayer, I'm going to start adding the medium on top, which is going to take a lot longer to dry because it needs to be applied thickly. I just got to remember where I put my Payne's Gray. I might even add a little bit of purple just to make that green. I think I'm going to do purple instead of Payne's Gray right in the underlayer, and I'll do Payne's Gray over it. purple because that'll make that yellow really pop when we get there. I also love the way that this teal blends with this purple. I've used them together before. And that can be quite lovely. Here's purple. I just kind of, on the edges especially, I just want it to look natural. So this is still moist, so I can blend these together, but I'm going to have to add some to the non-moist bits. But yeah, I'm kind of just put together, mix the colors together on the canvas, and then add them blended. Sometimes I'll add medium. Sometimes I dry brush, and that can be a beautiful effect because the texture of the canvas shows through, but you kind of need to be careful about the brush strokes if you do that. You need a truly dry brush to not have brush strokes. That's the effect that I often do on shoes, is actually blending entirely through dry brushing, which can take a while because if you do it right, you don't have that much pigment in the brush. I like to give it weird edges and let the colors do weird things. I poured a little bit more purple than I meant. One of the things about these type of canvases is you really want to get the edges and the corners because that's where they rub when stored, but they also kind of absorb the paint, and sometimes you think that's where the canvas kind of overlaps. Sometimes you think you got in there, and then it dries, and you're like, oof, I didn't just miss a spot, I missed a canyon. Because the gloss can also trick you too. And I try to make sure that it's wrapped all the way around. I don't detail paint the back, but I do want to make sure that there isn't a white line when it's hung against the wall. And I always love this effect because when you do it right, it can be really striking. Especially if you really pay attention to the care and detail on the edges and treat them like the rest of the painting and not just as an afterthought. I have done just black before, and that can work, but when I really put the time and effort, and you can tell. So that looks like a nice underlayer, especially knowing that I'm going to be going over with layers of paint spray on top. I'm going to underlayer the raven. By adding these underlayers and letting them peek through later in the process, like I'm a little bit nervous about covering up that sketch, but I also know what a raven looks like, so yeah, I always try to remind myself that if I liked it once, I could paint it again. It's not rocket science. The key about birds is you got this skull here, and you got this patch of feathers here, and ravens have these kind of chins, I guess. They're like almost like a beard of these triangular feathers that point down. And so for a raven, you want to get into the shadows of those feathers. But since this is going to be backlit, you can kind of get away with letting them blend in. I'm going to give it kind of a golden eye because that'll make the eye pop, even if that's not quite realistic. For a long time, I really focused on realism in my pictures, and then I realized that the things that I weren't happy about were basically came down to I was overthinking and over controlling. And so I'm gonna add this purple blue pigment while this purple pigment's still a little moist. And see how that works. Kind of an ethereal finish, and that'll also help on these edges. I was a little bit messy with that Payne's Gray when I first put it on. I kind of regret that because the Payne's Gray is so much darker than. I want to get the basic form, and then I want to break it up a little, make sure it looks kind of like clouds. can you do that? We got in this kind of effect. You don't want to break it up too much because then you kind of lose the statement. It's a balance. That's art for you. A balance. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. I want it to dry thoroughly because I don't want, when I add that medium, I don't want it to pick up any of the pigment underneath. I want it to just be clean, and it's more important that I want to only hit the background and not hit the raven, which should give it a really cool dimensional effect when I'm done. I'm going to regesso the moon, I think, just to bring that back out. And thankfully, I know that this yellow will blend it with itself. So if I take a little bit of white and apply it over that blue and then re-yellow it, I should be able to get the whole thing to look. All right. So there's a little bit of peek into my process. So I am back. I added a little bit to the Ray-Ban just to blend things a little bit better. So that it kind of looks more cloud-like. And then here is the squirrel where we left it. And what I'm going to do right now is add the glass beads before I leave, because that's the area that, or the medium that's going to take longer to dry. So I want to make sure that I have plenty of time. Like, so I let the acrylics are fully dry underneath. It's been at least an hour, probably closer to plenty of time. I'm curious about this stuff because I'm wondering if I can use it to kind of like jumpstart some of the, process of doing space, because if I can get it to work, and I don't mind a little texture, I like this texture, but I'm a little disappointed that there aren't quite as many beads as I expected. Not sure if it needs some stir, or maybe there's more beads than I can see. I don't know. Maybe I'll stick it in my brush. I like a lot of beads. I also got some regular non-textured, or well, it's gel, but without the beads in it, so that I could kind of blend the beads into the rest of the canvas. I want the beads where I've got this color because I kind of want to hint at the Milky Way. I do want a bit of texture, but I don't want it to look like it's a brush. I used a really stiff brush for this. It seems that they really must stick to the brush and not to the canvas. I guess this is a really thick medium. I wasn't sure what to expect. The thing about anything that's supposed to dry clear, I'm always really careful, because if you pat it too much, you can sometimes lose some of the translucent. And it ends up drying white because you overworked it. That includes things that one uses to seal, which I've learned the hard way. So I want to scrape that off my paintbrush. Kind of push it around. I don't mind if they stay in clumps, because stars stay in clumps. What I'd really like for this effect to do is for the glass beads to show the colors underneath, so that when I paint other things, mix it up a bit. maybe the stuff on the top just had less beads. I don't know. Not sure how it works, to be honest. But I'm liking the texture, so we'll just go with it. I wish I had brought my sponges to the studio. I have a little bit of sponge, but not my full complement. I don't mind a little edge. I'm trying to avoid getting too much, though. Like, ultimately these do need to be transported and stored, and I don't want to go too crazy with texture on the edges because I have learned the hard way that it can get knocked off, even if you wrap them very carefully. So I want to put the texture where it's needed. So, I don't want it to be like textured front, nothing on the bottom, but I also don't want to create a hazard for myself. You can see it's already starting to dry, so I don't want to touch anywhere that's already starting to dry. I'm wondering, because a second coat might get more of an effect because it would better capture the little beads. So let's put that aside and see how it dries. I'm actually going to be leaving my studio shortly, so this is an awesome chance to see how it dries overnight. I wanted to not noodle around with it and not be tempted to noodle around with it, so I thought that doing it right before I left the studio for the evening is the best decision possible. So I'm just getting some of those glass beads on the side. Enough to suggest texture. All right, and so here we are. This is going to look pretty cool regardless, even if there's a little bit of white where it dries. That's okay. It'll still look galaxy-like. I just want to break up before I truly. I just noticed there's a little bit of brush strokes. I just want to break up those brush strokes just a hair. Swirls are fine. Brush strokes, though, look a little too contrived. All right. I'm sure no one would notice but me. I am a pattern noticer. It would drive me nuts. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now I want to add this medium everywhere I had done this really beautiful texture. And I feel kind of weird about putting this on it because I'm a little nervous that it's going to dry, quote unquote, wrong. But I mean, the worst that happens is that I have to redraw or repaint what I painted before. It's not that big a deal. And this one, the brushstrokes matter less because what I can do is kind of make it look like, as long as I'm conscious about how I'm applying them, I can kind of make it look like they're exploding out. I want the little beads to kind of crest and be thickest where the lightest colors are. That's the stuff I really want to show through. So in this one, I want the brush strokes because they also add a little bit of diagonal look. We also have that beautiful texture from the birch wood. So I want to squish these beads around these areas. I'm hoping that I'm not overworking it when it dries nicely. All right. So I'm going to leave that to dry. Thankfully, the air is really, really dry in here. So I'm expecting that to be pretty fast. And since I have some extra, I like doing a couple paintings at a time, especially ones that are a little bit more flexible for this reason, so that I can not waste, Like I said, those glass beads seem to really stick to this brush. We'll just get crusted over here. All right. I can't wait to see how that dries. So they'll be left overnight, untouched. And I look forward to the results in the morning.
Well. Miss Michelle is getting into it over there with the I think she probably uses less paint than I've ever seen anybody use in my life. You are muted.
She works with tiny brushes.
Tiny brushes and no paint. I think it's fantastic. I'm the polar opposite. I glop on paint. I waste paint like gallons of paint.
We saw yesterday. We saw. But that's okay.
Yeah, I like using up my paint. Everybody's got their own style. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's the way it should be.
So what you got going on?
Well, I'm gilding over here.
What you going to present today? What are you presenting today?
What am I presenting today? What happened to Lorraine? She's not in?
Who's that?
What happened to Lorraine?
Lorraine is not feeling well today, but we got a little something in the queue.
Oh, we always got something in the queue.
That's right. We got to keep things in the queue because folks, they watching us.
Well, if they're watching, give us a shout out. If you're out there, don't forget to share. Give us a shout.
That's right. Here we go.
Where are we going?
We're going places.
Hi, my name is Karen Wildbuster. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And I did a quarantine, I think it was 2006, with myself and 5 other artists with Poncho. It was the very first quarantine that I have ever done. And I must say that I was forced to create. And I don't mean forced in terms of somebody making me, but myself making myself. I mean, it was cool. It was cool sitting in a room with 5 other artists, knowing that you had 5 other artists there, knowing that the juice of creativity was kind of like flowing all over the place. The vibe was good, the music was good, the conversation was good. It was great getting up and just walking around and seeing what other artists and how they were creating. And it became like a spiritual journey because we not only spoke on art, we just spoke on life. We spoke on the struggle of an artist at times and how like minds come together to make this thing work. So the quarantine, it is definitely a great thing. I've been watching this one in 2021 really intensely. I mean, I like the idea of how it's going now. How it's going now to be able to see you guys virtually in each other's studios and seeing how you create. It's a different kind of feeling, a different kind of flow.
Sure. Sorry, Karen.
Oh man, I might remember what I said.
All right. I'll take some of that and some of this. You can try to pick up where you left off, and I'll just pick up.
Okay.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, so that's a different kind of flow watching you guys and me sitting on the other side now, as so many other people are just kind of like tuned into the live feed and seeing you create. Artists that I know, Karen Clark, I've known her for a minute. We went to Africa together on my first trip to Africa. But to sit there and watch her throw and see it all come up into fruition, just like right there, it's like, well, I knew you did it. But seeing is a different thing. LaShawn, it was the same thing. Actually watching you work, learning about Mr. Murray, and how you do what you do, the way that you do it, was good as well. So I say great job to all of you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of everybody's work. I'm gonna ride this process with you for the next few weeks and keep staying creative.
Day 8. Yeah, we have completed our first week. Do I sound surprised? What I'll tell you is this week has been fast and steady. The learning curves have been coming quickly. Most of our learning curves have been coming with technology, how to move videos around. This process is not foolproof. We got some folks that have good reception one day, bad reception the next day. So we're just making it work the best way we can. We're learning a lot about copyrighted music online. Facebook will shut you down if you're listening to a copyrighted music in your background. So we've had a couple of challenges with knowing what to play, what not to play. I've had to switch some things around at the last minute to kind of accommodate things. We're still posting on, I think, about 7 locations right now. So make sure you check our Creative Quarantine page on Facebook, the Art for the Soul Gallery page on Facebook. Look up the Larry Poncho Brown channel and please subscribe. And you can see all the episodes there unobstructed with no break. So I hope y'all binge watching. We on number 8. Nice techniques. Artists are sharing a lot of really good information, supplies that they're getting, and things you can try at home. We got a couple of our followers that have been actually painting along with us. So this has really turned into something we did not expect in that regard. I think the artists are now all adjusting to articulating what they're doing and being in front of the camera a little bit. We got some that are still struggling along to adjust to that. I think they'll be fine as time goes on. We're trying not to press anybody. We got 12 people and you got 12 personalities, 12 different sets of issues, emotional issues, physical issues, you name it. So we're just trying to be encouraging, and the creative spirit will pull folks together. So that has been really wonderful to watch. We had one situation last night where we decided to do just an hour of painting. And we had about 5 people in their studios, and they would just work. Then we were cut between each one of the people. Man, it was really, really nice. We were just designing as we go. This is the first time I can honestly say that this is a landmark situation. We have actually published for more than 8 days, up from 4 to 6 hours of content. And what we're hoping to do, as we really get into this and people are really creating and really beginning to show what they're doing and really doing some other things, that we can bring you more longer hours. We're looking at one day possibly doing a 12-hour show with just everybody outing what they're working on and what they're doing. So we're looking forward to that. I hope you guys are not getting bored yet. I don't know how you can be seeing all the different personalities and what they're working on. I'm hoping it's encouraging you to work, or at least do me a big favor and spread the word around so that people know what we're doing here. Because again, we're doing this to educate, to enlighten, to share. And so why don't you share too? So other than that, enough of my lecturing. What am I working on today? Well, my mask series is really my face in masks. I don't even call them masks because they don't look like masks. I want to say faces because they're faces made from dimensional, acrylic medium and molding paste and embossed papers, and they all take a personality of their own. And you saw me most of the week preparing those papers, cutting them out, sticking them down, painting them black, and then going and then painting the final stages of them. So they're shaping up well. I think I've done, 10 or 11 of them. And so I'm getting ready to break off and do something a little bit different. That was a good warm up for the week to get me acclimated to painting and doing some composition on a few things. Those were very impromptu, so they didn't get a chance to do a whole lot of planning on those, which was really cool. They were really kind of impromptu. That's how I approached it. So that's what I'm up to today. I'm going to finish up the last one. It may not be the last one. I don't want to put a period on the end of that yet. But I said I wanted to do 10. I think this is either the 10th or 11th one. I lost track. And you can see how I do the last stage. You saw the first stage, which is white paper. I glue on different types of paper, embossed paper, put acrylic medium, and build these textured areas. I go back, I paint over the whole thing black. Excuse me. And then after I painted black, I go back and I do a base of color just to pull out the details. And then at the very end, I do detailing color on the top. And that gives you this illusion of a face, an abstracted face. So I'm going to finish up number 10 or 11, and I'll be back with you. Well, my masks are getting funkier. I worked on a couple last night to finish up. There's one. Here's another one. Look at that. Yeah, they're getting pretty funky. I have wanted to do 10. I think I might have done close to 10 with these last few. Look at that one. Show and tell. So yeah, that's like I say, this whole series is really about creating personalities, creating faces from really just textures. And they come along pretty nicely. They have evolved from a series of ones I did a few years ago. But what I'm going to do is work on this one for a little bit for you while you're watching, so you can see how I get into them. This is the last stage after all the coating and the gluing and the gessoing and all the other things that happen. I got trying to use different colorations on these pieces, but I'm feeling a little green today. So I'm going to get into some green. See how that, just let it flow. This whole series has really taken a whole different direction from what I normally do, which is what you really want in a quarantine, is to press you other directions. And these, I am not just working texture, I'm trying to work a different color palette on them than I used in the past, which has been pretty earthy but more monotone. This one's more using more color. I think they add another whole element of personality to these pieces. So I'm just going to come in here and do a few little things to it. I think adding this color gives it a little more of an environment. So, the artists are now making some great progress on their projects. I got a slew of paintings from Aaron. Not Aaron, I'm sorry. Got a slew of paintings from Brian Murray. That's what happens when you try to paint and talk at the same time. I am not usually, and most of us are not usually narrating while we paint. That is a little bit unusual. If you hear a lot of banging and clanging, it's because in my studio space, it's that time of the day where everybody's trying to get their shipments down to the loading dock. So you may hear a few machines going by. I'm in an industrial building, been here for 13 years. Like the spaces, feels like home. So Ryan sent his first 3 completed pieces in. And we'll be showing those online today, so you can get a kind of catch up with what's happening with everybody in the group. Things have been really moving along with the artists. Everybody's got their first week under their belt, so we'll see what transpires in the days ahead. As you can see, I try to dry brush. I do any colorations, I try to include it throughout the painting so that it won't just be part of the background. Today is Friday, so I'm sure that everybody's going to be in a different mood today. Sometimes I'll take that same color and put it in other areas of the face as reflective color so they can look related. But this mask series has really taken on a new pattern. I think I'm going to be breaking away from these soon and moving to something else. It's a great warm-up for the week as I tried to get myself acclimated to working. Gave me a chance to get outside of my head for a minute. A lot of the artists are now preparing for collaboration, so we should be seeing some pretty exciting stuff coming up soon, especially next week as artists begin to receive those. I can't wait to get mine from LaShawn Beal. That should be fun, a little departure from what's happening. I think I'll give that a little hit too. As you can see, I'm just touching the high points with a few color here and there. See, at this stage, I'm going to take, this is a real good brush for doing edges, because what happens is that when you dry brush, you don't want to leave a line. So this rounded brush is a good choice for doing dry brushing. That's what this technique is called. All artists call it something different, but basically I am hitting the high points with paint. And the low points are the black that you saw me coating. Last couple of weeks, I've been coating black paper. And many of you have been wondering, what is he doing? Why is he painting black on black? Is he stuck into something? So now you see what the whole plan was. So as you can see, I'm putting the final touches on him. I'm now taking paint and putting it on the high areas that relate to the painting. And the funny thing about all of these pieces is that they look completely different. And they all have their own personality. Which is kind of what I was looking for. Let's see. I'm going to now try to hit a couple of the high areas just to bring a little bit more detail into the piece. This part, you gotta be very light-handed and try not to overdo it. I think that adds a little dimension to these pieces. I don't know if I want to do much with this other area over here, but something is asking me to do something a little unusual. So I'm going to follow that directive. You know, when you're dry brushing, the operative word there is dry. So even when you clean out your brush, you want to try to get as much moisture out of that brush as possible. So I have a whole slew of rags around here that I use to keep my brushes dry. Let's see, I think I'm going to go a little funky over here, just a little teeny bit. Should I go from the edge? Should I go from the inside? I think I'm going to go from the inside. Let's see. I'm going to come in here. In here. I think I want to just mess around in here. That old question becomes, well, how much is too much? I tend not to worry about it. I always kind of know when enough is enough. I kind of know when I've gone too far. And after exploring 10 of these, they all have kind of a balance. So I want to try to make sure I don't create one that doesn't fit in the group. You see how I try to let as much of those little black markings show as part of the base. I think that little detail kind of helps the piece flow a little bit. And I'll try to hit some orange points with some of that too, but not too much. You know, That little brain of mine is saying, well, since you got a sunlight thing going on here, maybe you can hit that, make that orange too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I can live with that. So I am actually nearing a finish line on this particular piece. You know, that whole thing of knowing when to stop is a big thing. And I don't want to go beyond the thing. You got to go back, you got to replay like that, like what I just did. That was too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to elect to plunk out and take that out completely. And then I'm going to go back with some oxide red and redo that space. I don't want to spread that orange out. I want to keep that orange kind of in one area. Which means I got to clean my brush out again. Luckily, I have plenty of brushes. So I'm just going to go in here and lightly just touch that spot that I went into too deep. You know, sometimes I'll be in here, I could be in here painting and forget that y'all out there. So, again, most of us are not used to narrating as we paint, so you get a fresh perspective of what's happening. This is the first time we've ever done. I think I am at a good point with this. I think I want to stop. Now, you can see, I'll put it next to a couple of the other pieces so you can see the relation or non-relation of the two. It's not too bad. It's different enough. It's not boring to see those two together. Let's see what we got here. These two definitely make a good pairing. And then this one here, maybe not so much, but still, their faces look related. You can see this one has a little bit of cowrie shell in it for the eye. Got a little piece of lace in the background of this one. So they have some nice little textures on them. So with that, I think I will sign me up. Which number is on? Number 18. Yes, I think I'm on number 18. 18 since the first. I've got a good momentum going. I think I'm going to pick it up and maybe get into it a little deeper this weekend and sign it over in here. Do I have to screw up my own signature? Absolutely. Imagine having to paint that over again, because I've only painted thousands upon thousands of paintings with this same signature. It's like getting your name wrong on your check. When you're writing that check. All right, and so from here, all I can think to do is to hit a couple spots in the low points with the black, just to open them up a little bit.
And I think we are just about there. And there we go. Another piece added to my collection of textural faces. And another palette that I am developing. So you can see the color relationships of all of the pieces that we painted in this series. Day 8 is a monster, y'all. You know, the artists are all motivated. They've gained some momentum. I think this first week allowed some of them to get into the flow. Those that were intimidated by the process, I think they've gotten out of that. We have a couple that are still trying to find their way, and maybe they will do that. And as we enter into the second week, some people's portfolios are just expanding. There's some people here still doing prep, like Deshaun Beal. He's doing a lot of prep. Ryan Murray has just posted his first 3 pieces. I posted mine. We're going to be posting Karen Clark's sculptural pieces, which I think are phenomenal. But I want to talk to you about rest. The last few days, I have been waking up 10, going to bed around 2. Old man can't do too many late nighters, but I've been trying to hang, and I've done 3 late nighters back to back. This morning is the first morning that I really felt it. Didn't get into the studio till around 12:30. So still coming in, working while the show's going on, which is great because I get a chance to catch up with everybody else. Because when I'm broadcasting, I can't create. And so whatnot that is just me, all the artists are breaking away for an hour, half an hour, 20 minutes to talk, and it breaks their momentum sometimes too. So overall, day 8 is great to getting ready for day 9. Wow, it just sounds wild, y'all, but the time is clicking and it's clacking. So let's see what the next week will present creatively.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Kathleen. How are you?
I'm trying to manage my performance stress and anxiety.
Well, yeah, it is a big issue. But
Yes,
you are doing remarkably well.
Well, I appreciate that. Heart attacks. And so the anxiety is putting a lot of pressure on my heart. And I'm feeling like, oh my God. Stay calm.
We might just need you to submit more videos so we don't have to witness you having another one.
I think Kathleen is doing absolutely amazing.
She's doing great.
She's doing absolutely amazing.
And you got a couple fans that's been following you. That's amazed by what you do.
Yeah, I have a close friend of mine here in Amherst. I know she's been watching the replays. Yes, she checks in with me every day to let me know that she's watched the show.
That's good. So why don't you just give us some reflections today? You ain't got to show nothing. You've done a presentation every day for week 1. So
yeah, well, I don't mind.
Today, just talk about your experience so far and the things you've had to adjust to. You did mention just now the performance anxiety, but really, can you elaborate on that? Because I think a lot of other artists are feeling the same thing.
I mentioned it's somewhat yesterday, I think, or whatever day I mentioned it the first time. Like it is, oh my God, do I have enough stuff? Do I have the right things? Is it going to be making sense? Is this a presentation that is reflective of what the creative quarantine is all about? Oh, so yeah, that's a big part of it. I have to remind myself, okay, if people don't like you, it doesn't matter. That's okay. Well, if they don't like your stuff, that's okay.
I think what happens is
you're a 5-time award winner, Kathleen.
That's right.
People like your stuff.
That's right. That's
there
all
you go.
Say. You know, we got to get outside of our own heads. I mean, the information that you've imparted this first week has been amazing. For those out there that didn't know much about, I mean, it's nice that we have 2 different people that work with 2 different types of clay, because it's a lot of information. And you've been part of the crew that's been trying to adjust to this tech thing. You know, you have days where you're crystal clear and days when you're not, but today you're crystal clear.
Crystal clear. I think that's probably been a part of your anxiety is just your tech.
Absolutely.
And once you know,
my what?
I said, I think part of your anxiety comes from your tech, your technology, your tech. And so once, you know, and it is what it is. And so you just have to kind of work through it. And you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, that's not how I'm feeling about my anxiety. It's really more about making sure I have the right tools and the right information and getting it all organized in a way that makes sense and is clear to people.
Well, I think you've been doing a good job of that. I think that once we figure this thing out and incorporate video, where you don't have to do a presentation every day, we'll start to take some of the pressure off of you, because that's a lot of the artists now are beginning to take time with their units. They're just videotaping what they did that day. The optics on it is better. You don't have to worry about whether your reception is good that day or not. We found a platform to upload video, which has been very, very helpful. So far, I think 6 of the artists have submitted some stuff that we've run on the show. So I would encourage you to just grab that iPad, shoot some video of some of your stuff, and you can talk while you're showing it, and let that be your presentation for the day. And that way you won't have to just do lives every day, because lives every day will drain you.
Right.
So here's what's helpful to know. I get extremely stressed when food falls off my fork when I'm eating.
Okay, so that gives us a real good look at who you are.
That's crystal clear right there.
So, Poncho, we might as well stop talking.
No, this is all very therapeutic, because
No. I'm saying we might as well stop trying to analyze her and fix it, because she gets stressed when food falls off her fork.
Yeah, but
yes, I have to remind myself to breathe. It's okay if food falls off my fork.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay that food falls off my fork.
Yeah. Now that's a little lighter than "it's okay my feed dropped" while I was giving a live presentation.
There you go. That's a whole other thing.
Again, what I like about this process is that we can laugh at ourselves and let go of some of those things that we think actually define who we are. And sometimes those things really don't define who we are. Information that you've been part of this week has been fantastic.
The volume is doing funny things.
That's okay. It might be because we have a lot of streams open, but I will tell you that the information you started this week has been fantastic.
Oh, that's good.
So we're going to give you a break today. It's nice to see your face and see you just hanging in there. Video.
So I just want to share this. Okay. I told you that I'm not a painter. My my passion around working with polymer clay is making canes. I have about 30 of those boxes. I don't know if I showed, I think I did, filled with canes that I make because I'm just loving making canes. I have stayed up all night long making canes. I have been so tired at 9 o'clock and sat down to start working with polymer clay, and I'm wide awake and energized until 3 o'clock the next morning.
Wow.
So that has been my passion with the polymer clay. So doing this creative quarantine is going to allow me to do some other applications with the clay. And one of them is a painting that I have seen a number of artists, some who are colleagues of mine, who do surface techniques rather than cane making. And one of the people who's part of the group I belong to, her name is Ellen Marshall, and she wrote this book on polymer clay surface designs. So I bought this book 6 years ago. It's been sitting on my shelf.
I know where it's going.
Because I'm into cane making, right? So I picked it up this morning thinking, okay, let me see what Ellen might offer as a suggestion or as inspiration for me to start painting on clay. So I think I'm going to start that this weekend. I mentioned a collaboration with LaShawn. So I'm going through my boxes of canes that I have made. He wanted some that are stereotypically or typically my work. So I have built a design. I call it the KDQ cane. And so I'm going to spend some time tonight and tomorrow making slices for him to send them off to him. But maybe by Sunday I can start a painting project and on the clay and see how I like it, see what comes out of it, see what happens with it.
Sounds fantastic. Well, tell me, how's your rest doing?
Oh, here. So my rest is the way it has been for at least the last year or so. If I go to sleep at 9 o'clock at night, I wake up at about 11 or 12. And I'm awake for a bit. I go back to sleep, and then I'm awake at like 2:30. And then I go back to sleep.
At 2:30, I got one leg hanging off the bed, and I'm trying to put myself back up.
So I have had interrupted sleep for at least a year. I wake up several times during the night.
Now, does that help you or hurt you with your creative process?
It does not doesn't interfere with me. Doesn't interfere.
Fantastic. Well, you're one of our senior members of the group, so we want to ask you questions like that to make sure you're keeping up. I'm glad you shared that part about your anxiety and the artifacts that you've experienced.
Yes, that helps a lot.
Yeah, because sometimes we're just grinding through. We don't talk about that kind of stuff. So I was really glad when Ryan mentioned depression is part of the thing that he's been trying to challenge. Or when Frankie's talking about this brain
right, the whole thing he's going through.
So it really makes you sit down and go, Poncho, well, you just need to paint.
Right. But Kathleen, as you're taking your break or not being on, if you are going to do some work today, put your camera on and just let it record.
Yeah, this is something we've been doing the last few days.
I will do that. Earlier today, I was on a phone call interview with the local radio station. Rosemary and I were asked to do an interview. So that was this morning. And then the neck piece that I'm working on, I made the collar part yesterday, but it was I thought it was too long. So I made another one today, shorter.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I spent, and I should have recorded it. I just, I don't think that I should record. Don't think about that as the tool for recording. I think of the recording as a diary, as a reflective thing, and not as the working thing. But I will.
What we found through this process, though, Kathleen, is just the reverse. Being able to show the work is another visual for not just you; it's a visual for the people that are watching, and it stops you from having to engage the camera and just show your work. And so
it's uninterrupted.
And what it's also going to do too is give you a reprieve for those days when your reception's not good. You know, because you're going to.
Well, my reception should be good from now on because I have unlimited talk, text, and that.
Well, you go ahead with your bad self.
And we are done with that, Pancho.
And so, yeah, what we've been doing the last few days, Kathleen, is that if artists are actually working in the studio, they just chime in. We put them in the background, like you see Karen back there working. We've been showing for last night. It was exciting. We had 5 artists up working at one time, and a little music playing. And all we did was just work. We didn't do any talking. We just tuned out, and everybody worked. It was really beautiful.
And then just swapped them out as it went on.
So we're going to try some more creative things. So it's going to be your work, your rest day. You have done your first week of on your feet. So let's try to do some things next week to make it a little easier on you. That's right. a little easier.
Do some of those recordings. Do some of those recordings because you could do recordings. I mean, tell you what the recordings will do for you. It'll take the thinking out of it because you'll just be working as you usually do. So you're not thinking about your materials or your tools and things like that because you're already.
But I am thinking about them. You know, I am thinking about it as yeah.
Yeah, and but what I'm saying is when you're just working, just turn it on as if it's not there. That's what I'm saying. Just turn it on while you're doing your usual working.
Okay.
And the thing that happens also, Kathleen, is that when you're filming what you do, you don't have to really explain what's happening. You're just providing a visual to what you're doing. I mean, watching you work your clay and your hands and the patterns that come out inside that clay, some of that gets lost because of the reception. But that would be excellent in video because we would get a chance to see that.
Right.
So just try it. Do a short one. Send it to me because you got to go through a couple steps. First thing, you got to shoot the video. Then we got to get the video off of your device.
Yes.
Then you got to upload it. So you got to figure out how to upload.
Yes.
So once you get that, boom.
There you go.
I can tell you that LaShawn.
So again, you know, it's the perfectionist in me. Like I said, you know, the food falls off my fork. That's not what is supposed to happen when you're eating. The food is supposed to stay on your fork into your mouth, not fall off.
Karen,
so anyway,
I was wondering when you was going to chime in on that one, Karen.
Well, Karen definitely don't have the food off the fork thing.
I was definitely wondering when Karen was going to chime in on that because I know she heard it.
Karen is one of my restaurant hoppers, so we don't have that food off the fork thing. And there's nothing wrong with it. We all have different levels of perfection and different things. So, but what I think the bigger message to people that are watching is we're not necessarily totally defined by those things. We always got room to say, you know, I'm not going to get that extra line out of my carpet because I just vacuumed. I'm not going to get on my knees and pick the lint up that was left from the vacuum cleaner after I vacuumed the carpet.
I would.
Okay, I would too, Kathleen. I would too. Pancho's the guy. He would.
I stop myself. I get up and I throw the vacuum cleaner in the closet because sometimes you can get so locked in your head of this level of perfection. I've even done this.
There's a double light switch in my house, So it's tandem. So at one point, you can turn the switch on, but if you're down at the other end, then you have to turn the. So if the two switches are not focused in the same direction.
It's annoying. It is annoying. I am with you, Kathleen. I have one. It is annoying.
Wow. See, I'm going to leave this conversation feeling like a brand new man. Well, Kathleen, thank you so much for sharing today. I'm glad you're getting a little bit of rest. Excellent first week. And we'll just check in with you tomorrow and see what's happening. But try the video. Just try it.
Yeah, thanks for that suggestion, because like I said, when I first heard about using the using the iPad as a visual diary, I was thinking diary like you write in a notebook, where you would just write some thoughts, but you wouldn't necessarily keep a record of your daily activity. So that's how I was thinking of the iPad and the video recording, that it would be just a morning diary. This is what happened this morning, or I'm waking up and this is what I'm going to do. And
well, that's actually the smart.
Not necessarily as a tool to record the steps or the work that's being done, but I'll use it that way. I think
what happened is, because our devices ended up being a little more substandard than what's required on this platform, the device is still very perfect for taking photographs, video. The daily diary piece is just a suggestion for people so they can kind of articulate what they're going through day to day. But a lot of artists haven't even had time to do that because they've been so busy working. But what they are getting to do now is to show their process. And I think people are really interested in seeing that. And I think it will help us see the beauty in some of the work that might get lost in some of the live interviews.
Yeah. Because yesterday it was a little harder to visualize we saw the neck piece, but it was a little harder to see the colors and the clay, the other ones that you were talking about.
Another thing you can do too is that you can send me 1,000 photographs and I can put it into a video. It could just be just take a ton of pictures from different angles of what you do, and I'll present it as a photo diary of what you're doing, because I haven't shot any photographs in my studio yet, but I can do videos very quickly from those. So I'm just going to help you out with the visual part so we can take the pressure off of the live. So
I have taken video. Again, it will the share platform that you have been sending us is new to me.
It's new to all of us.
Okay. So I'm familiar with a lot of other platforms, and I want to do it quick.
I don't think
if the Google search is not happening fast enough, my whole body just goes.
I got you. So we're finding that we're trying to find out what's going to make it easier, and so we're still experimenting, and everybody's in the same position with it. So it's brand new to all of us trying to get this information over.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just letting you know what it's like for me.
All right, Kathleen, you have a great evening.
All right, Kathleen, I'm trying to see what is Karen over here burning up.
Yeah, Karen is doing her thing. We can really pull her in now so we can see what's going on.
All right, Kathleen.
All right, Karen, what's going on?
What are you doing, girl?
Take your microphone off. Let me see if I can get you. I got you.
You got me? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You are live.
Okay, good. Cool. Right now what I'm doing is I'm stiffening up my piece. And so you can actually put heat to your piece and stiffen it, because I want to stretch it out really, really wide. So this is for face vessels that I'm doing. So Sean had asked me to make a face vessel so that he can paint on. I put the face on the front and then he paint around the surface. So this is what I'm doing right now to create it. So I'm trying to give him enough canvas on the backhand side to work with it. So that is one. And Poncho, you want one? You hear me, Poncho?
I can hear you, baby.
You want one?
Yes, if you wanted one.
You want one? Yeah.
I
So
would not turn down anything from Karen Clark. And see, you're closer to me than I think all the other artists are.
right. And so I could drop
And then
yours
we can
off
get
so I
our
could.
favorite little dish while we're doing the swap.
Which one?
You know which one?
Okay.
The
Okay.
drunken noodles.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
oh, look
hey.
at
I love a drunken noodle.
That's
Love a
right.
drunken noodle. Yeah.
Karen just
So
be over there dancing. Remember when we first started interviewing her? She was like, "I'm not gonna be dancing."
yeah, I'm not. So what right now what I am doing is I'm stretching out this piece. But before I get started, y'all, I'm gonna take my camera off of the pedestal and so that you guys can see what's happening right now. So I have started to load up the kiln. So I did say I was going to load it up from Friday, and I am true to my word. Hey, so I'm going to pick. I'm going to take the camera, and
We
so you
love
guys can
Karen.
see.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, camera, and
You gotta
then backside.
hit
Right.
Karen mic.
All right, and so done.
She's going to her backside.
I want you guys to see that. I
There
hope
you
that
go.
you guys can see that. So
Mhm.
this is what's happening right now. So sorry about my fingers in the camera. I'm loading them in, and so they're drying right now. So it's right now the kiln is actually at 200 degrees. This is the second tier. The third tier is underneath, and it actually has some things under there right now. And so what I do is let it knock off the chill in my studio because I do not have central heat. It allows it to keep warm in here. This will stay at 200 degrees for probably another 18 hours. So by the time I come into the studio, I'll load the rest of the pieces inside of the kiln. So I'm going to flip my camera back over and walk you guys back. So it actually
So
is
the angels are in there
very
though.
hot in this studio right now.
Ooh.
So it's very hot. So sorry about that. So that is one of the things that's happening right now. Unfortunately, I can't take you guys over there completely because and hang out there. One, because it's too hot, and the other reason is it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous to put you over there. So that's why I walked you guys over there. So I'm back at the wheel. So right now it's over there. It's chilling out. I'm sweaty because I walked over there and burst into a heat. Woo. Have mercy. It is when I say hot. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, it is hot over there. Man, y'all don't know. For real. Because so what's gonna happen? Listen, this is the crazy part. So this kiln right now is going to go to 1800 degrees. These are energy efficient windows. So when I walk in here, today is Friday, so Saturday. When I come in here Saturday morning, no, today is Friday. So when I come in here Saturday morning, it's probably going to be about 90 degrees in here. So usually I wear very light clothes in here on that day because it's that hot in here. So I have to open up all the windows. But I'm grateful for the warmth. So usually I just wear a tank top and some shorts and then put on regular clothes when I go back outside. Yeah, but yeah, it gets real hot. And when it gets up to 2200 degrees for the glaze fire, it's about 110 in here.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really, really hot.
That just sounds good.
Yeah, it does. So right now, what I'm doing for this piece is I'm actually stretching the area out. This area here is the neck of the piece, and this here is the body of the piece. So this is about 5 pounds of clay being pulled. I like to go bigger, but it takes more time and more concentration. This is like something that takes me about 10 or 15 minutes to put together or less. But the larger the piece, the more time you're going to focus on it. So hopefully by the end, while we're doing this, hopefully I'll be doing probably 25 pounds, which are much larger pieces. But they do, I'll prep them up in one studio because I'll be teaching next week. So it gives me more space, and I'll put them together here. So I'm just cleaning up the bottom so that I can stretch it.
So tell us about that torso against the wall.
That torso. Okay, you ready? Oh, I just got the idea. I'm doing, I have a pedestal piece outside that one of my friends, Keith Ramsey, made for me. And he makes quite a few of them, but I'm going to be doing the top part of that torso, probably a little bit of the below the waist and down the leg, and so that it can stand up on that piece. But I'm still trying to figure out the textures that I want to put on it and the design. And I was inspired by one of my mentors and friends, Woodrow Nash. He uses a product like lace and dip it in. He dips it in slip and then he lays it onto the body and it burns out to create the texture. So I want to play with that a little bit. And I also want to, my grandmother in her yard has a piece of driftwood, and a title had come in my head called Sweet Strange Fruit. And so I think I wanted to elaborate on that. And I'm going to be bringing you a, what do you call it? A cello. And I'm going to use one of my cellos. And I think the name they kept speaking to me is Souls of Freedom, or something dealing with soul and freedom put together. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But I think I have a direction of what I'm going to do. But it's going to take those are going to be my all day projects where I'm in the studio from morning till night. Because,
I said, very, very cool. Sounds like you got a lot of concepts jumping around in your head, despite all of the production that you got going on over there.
Yeah. Well, all of the ideas come in my dreams. So I sleep well, but I don't. When I'm sleeping, I don't go to bed real late, but I wake up every morning.
Tell us your hours, because everybody sees us all working, but they don't know what our hours are.
So usually I don't. I do production at night. I don't usually do faces during the nighttime. I usually do those in the day because I'm able to see better, because I like to work by natural light. But I usually close. Back in the day, I used to have the studio open until 12 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I got a little bit of sense, and I close the studio up at about 9, unless somebody says, "Hey, Karen, be on camera," like you, because I can't believe y'all left me out. I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, why did they leave me out? I would have been in the studio. I would have stayed.
Oh, but, if you had popped back in, we would have put you right back in the feed.
Yeah, I was eating soup at that
From now on, that's the new rule. If you want to pop in, just pop in, and we will. You won't have to say anything. We'll just put you a nice little square on the side of the screen.
Hey, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, we had a nice little thing last night with it.
Yeah, that looked so cool. It was so cool. So I'm almost finished with this piece. I just got to stretch it out some more. So, and here, let me explain this to everyone. When you are working with clay and you're getting to know your clay, you don't know how much you can stretch a piece. But what I'm doing right now, when I'm touching it on the inside and the outside, that's allowing me to feel the walls and the thickness of the walls. With my walls, I like to leave them probably between a fourth or a half of an inch. Well, most of the time, a half of an inch thick, because I'm usually putting texture on it. If I am not putting any type of texture or carving or anything on there or faces, then it's about a fourth of an inch. But that is what I'm feeling the walls for, to see how much I can do, because I don't want to carve into the wall or carve a hole into it, because then it wouldn't have the purpose that I need it for.
Gotcha.
And then I'll change it, and then I have to change it to something else, which is fine too.
It's like watching magic.
Thanks. It's hard to talk at the same time while
you don't have to talk while you're doing everything.
Yeah. And I didn't have water on my hand, because you need to have some water on your hand, otherwise you stick. So when I'm throwing, I have to usually sop my arm up, so I can actually get in there. A lot of people ask me, does this exfoliate your skin? It can. It can, if it has what they call grog, which is just sand. It can exfoliate you, but I use a lot of shea butter at night to put on my skin. Uh-oh. 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 Come on. Hey. Artists have those scary moments too. I'm like, uh-oh, because they started wobbling. So if it started wobbling, that means I was sticking too tight to it. And it was about to fall down.
That would have made for great live TV.
It would have. To let you know that
and
I am not perfect.
I don't have any blooper reels yet.
I'm so glad you don't have any bloopers of me. I'm tired of your bloopers and me in the bloopers. Well, I'll give you a blooper. Hey.
Blooper, that's just you. All that talk about drunken noodles got me hungry now. So
I know that's right. You know what I had today? I've never had it before. It is from a Latin American place. It's chorizo with queso sauce. And the taste, I have to go look it up because it almost tastes like cinnamon inside of it. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to turn on the torch again, but I'll do it later because I need to get that shoulder, and so that she can look voluptuous in the top part. I like to make my vases a little busty in this area. Come on, you don't want to do right today. No, it's not that. It's me not wanting to do right. That means that I'm getting too aggressive, so I need to slow my roll. And slow my roll a little bit. So let me pick that up.
Well, darling, we're gonna let you do your thing.
Okay, well, while you're letting me do my thing, I'm gonna do it. I am the other thing that I was gonna say is the next video that I do, it will have plenty of light, and I'm gonna also add a story into the video, because while I'm working, I'm usually listening to one of my favorite friends from Manchester, England. She is a storyteller, and she tells stories from the continent, and they are so good, and so it allows me to travel. So I hope that you guys like it as much as I do, and I'll do it tomorrow.
Sounds kind of fantastic to me, darling.
Oh, all right then.
All right, sweetie.
Okay.
Your thing, and we will be chatting with you later.
I'm done. I'm cutting this thing off, put some plastic over it. I'm going for dinner. Ta-da!
Here.
Bye.
So along the way, we have been talking about collaborations, and all of us are kind of preparing for collaborations. Namely, LaShawn Beal is spearheading most of that. He's been working very diligently on doing a series of pieces for us to start to work on. I sent a package out to 5 artists so they can have some, and Deborah Shedrick has shipped some things out. So we're all in the process of getting a few things to each other. Louise Cutler and I are also going to do a few things. But I wanted to show you just a little short video of some collaborations that me and LaShawn Beal had done before. At least you can have an idea of how that looks. Yeah, look at Louise. She just got her piece. She's got her tube in the mail from me today. So yeah, she's getting ready to roll. And she's now, mind you, we sent her an empty tube so she can send the artwork to me. Because she kept saying, I don't have anything. What am I going to do? I'm like, look, let me just ship you a tube. So that's what's up. We are trying to get it done. So let me show you this short video of a couple of collaborations that LaShawn and I have done together.
Hey everyone, it is day 7 of the artist quarantine, and I'm about to ship off my pieces that I want to do collaboration with other artists with. So I wanted to share with y'all my stage of the pieces. This is one of them right here. There's another one. I'm really curious to see how the other artists are going to take these and transform them into something else.
I like that one, LaShawn. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have fun on that one.
Okay, that's just a few of them. So listen, stay tuned.
Okay, he just was like, boom, see ya.
That's right. Gotta keep it moving. Gotta keep it moving. So what you got?
Oh, come on over. Let's see, where am I?
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Hold on, let's see. I want to make sure this sound is down. There we go. I am everywhere.
You're in stereo.
Well, basically what I've been doing over here is what you see now. I've been kind of, and I've been doing the time lapse, so I'm going to send you that. So as you can see right here, I already laid in the white gold. So on these pieces, I normally I work with the more precious metals. So, but I only do sorry about that. My kid's calling. So I only work with either 23 karat gold or things like that on my larger pieces. On my small pieces, I work with the Dutch metal. But on here, this is a white gold. But it's only a 12 karat white gold. And so you will get a little bit of tarnishing because it's kind of a mixture of white gold. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually do the size on this. And then here, I'm going to do a variegated blue on this portion. And then on here, I'm going to actually use a little stencil, and I'm going to put a pattern in here. And then I'm going to use gold in that stencil once I do this. How is my sound? Do I sound okay, Poncho?
Sound is great.
Oh, okay. I tell you, that mic picks up really well. So I'm going to do a stencil in here, but I was just over there trying to find my stencil, and but I'm going to do that. So right now I'm going to put, and I meant to do this earlier, but I'm going to put that that color in there. So not colored, but I'm going to go ahead and gild that. Put down the size, and then hopefully, and Poncho, I think I have a video of me doing some gilding.
Yeah, I saw that video, but it needs editing.
Oh, that one did?
Yeah, at the end, you're having a conversation that's going time lapse. No sound.
Okay, I'm gonna have to relook. I have to look at that video because that might not have been the one that I wanted to put up there then.
Okay.
Right, that might not have been the right one. All right, so
Which one do we go to?
go to this one, the one at the Outlet Mall.
Okay.
All right, so the one in Loveland.
Okay.
See, that's what when you have children, you have to, there's just nonstop mommy. So
Whatever.
it's nonstop mommy. You can see what my size. This is my size. Look at this.
And look, that's making me hungry.
No, It's all dry. It gets dried out. See that? But it's really sticky. And when I saw this, I was like, I bet you Pancho would like form some lips out of this.
I sure would. And then gild on top of it.
And then gild the top of it. So I'm going to see, because eventually I'm going to have to pull this out. But the nice thing about sizes is this is a water-based size. And I use two different sizes. I use a water-based size when I'm working on paper and wood and stuff, but I use an oil-based size when I'm working on metal.
Okay.
So it's a totally different size that I use when I'm working on metal. So this right here, and I put down the red base coat, which you see here, and I put down some little black lines to kind of guide me. Because those lines I'm going to want in later, because they're like the little folds in the outfit. And the other thing, I don't like to cover everything sometimes. Sometimes I cover everything and sometimes I don't, but I actually like to see some of the reddish color peek through. I do. I'm one of those people. I like to see the reddish color peek through. And I also like to, in the midst of me doing these, I also like to go ahead and create several, when I'm doing these, I like to do, if I can, I'll turn on like a time lapse so that I can do that as well. So I'm actually going to be time lapsing this as well as while I'm doing this, because, and the reason I'm doing that is because I already have this set time lapse mostly, and I want to just put together the full video.
Well, it sounds fantastic. I think everybody would love to see it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing, because I do a lot of work on it off camera, and so but I still do a lot of the time lapsing. So once I get the full video, because Pancho is like, Louise, send me content, and
I got a question here from
the whole thing, and that's why when I sent that one thing to you, I'm like, okay, let me just send this. But actually, that one is also a part of a full video.
All right, I got a question I got to answer. It says, what tool do you all use to record and transfer video? Right now, we are relying on whatever devices we have, whether it be iPhone, phones, Galaxies, iPads, video cameras, and then we're uploading them through a platform in order for us to start transferring this video. So we're trying a couple of different things. We're doing a real guerrilla approach to this because none of us are professionals, but we are trying to document our work as best as we can.
Mm-hmm. I really liked Ryan's work. That was one of the pieces he was working on last night.
Yeah, he started working with that piece really on the first show when he was trying to get started. So got good momentum. I'm just waiting for everybody else to start sending me some photographs.
I remember him talking about doing some freehand.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it turned out pretty amazing. It was really cool watching him use all of the stenciling things that he had talked about.
Right.
And spraying through lace and paper doilies and pans.
So do you use Wonder Size on that? Or do you have another brand do you use?
Huh?
Do you use Wonder Size paper? Water-based size, or is there another?
I actually use I've used the Mona Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
So I order this kind of stuff. I order online because I use so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see me using this one right here, this Mona Lisa. Can you see it? You'll see me using this, but I have a ginormous one. So I was just using this when I was doing the little ones because I had it. So I'm like, oh, I'll use this because this is a red base coat. So I'll use that, but I have like my size is a really large container and I pour it in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I use these because I love these Tupperware containers because this kind of stuff dries out and the oil-based size dry out too. So I try to use Tupperware containers because they seal well. And with this being a water-based size, I can put water in it and just kind of bring it a little bit back to life and still use it. So that's what I'm doing. And then I had one other brand that I had ordered. It's still over there because it was just too watery. It was too watery. And it's interesting.
I got two other questions I got to deal with. One is what platforms? This is a platform we're trying to use now. It's called ShareFile. We've been using that for the week. Allows us to move some files pretty quickly for all 12 artists. So that's what we've been using so far. I hope that answers both of your questions because that seems to be a question that a lot of you have.
But
and we've been having our share of challenges. We've tried WeTransfer, tried some other platforms, but
Google. We tried the Google.
We tried Google. They have a lot of them have size limitations, and some of these videos are 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, 7 gigabytes.
Right.
So we need to be able to move larger files and then compress them when we actually do our light editing, because we're not doing anything serious editing here. We're just making it kind of as the artists shoot them. We want to show
and storage. Storage is a big deal.
Oh, storage is a real big deal because trying to transfer these files from one computer to the next computer is a bit of a challenge. But that's what we're faced with trying to broadcast for 30 days. So it's not just painting and creating, it's learning all the other technical things it takes to keep this thing running. So we're doing so far 1 week down. The next week we'll present a whole lot of different things.
1 week down. You know what's interesting? How I started gilding on my artwork, because it used to be very simplistic. My pieces were very simplistic when I first started the series, and I really started working in acrylic after I was pregnant with my second son, because I didn't want to work in oils and I didn't want to work in pastels because I didn't want to breathe in all of that. And so I started working in acrylics when I started this. And so this was a very simplistic series. And it kind of took me back to my fashion illustration background, where I was sort of just getting rid of everything that wasn't necessary or everything I didn't feel was necessary for the piece. And so that's when I started working in this. And then when we went to the Louvre, we had gone to France and we went to Paris, and we went to the Louvre during this series when I started this series, and we went into, I think it was the Italian Renaissance section. And they had, it was just full of gilding, a lot of the art was gilded. And so I thought, oh, you know what? When I come home, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put gilding on here. Now, mind you, I had never gilded anything, didn't know anything about gilding at all. And so I come home, and here I'm working on watercolor paper. So I come home, I get out my watercolor paper, I'm going to gild it. I got all the supplies. No base coat, none of that kind of stuff. Just got all the supplies. And so I started putting down, I did the painting, and I started putting down size, and watercolor paper does what watercolor paper does. It absorbs everything. So it just kept absorbing everything. Everything I put down, it kept absorbing all of it. And so I had to kind of rethink how I was doing this. So I went and I got, I'm like, I need to do some research. I need to do some more research. See, because sometimes as artists, we don't do all the research. We just jump right in. It's like jumping off the cliff. And so after I did the research, I realized that you need to put down a base coat, especially on watercolor paper.
Absolutely.
On watercolor paper, because watercolor paper is just going to suck up everything. So
you gotta. It said gilding works best on a non-porous surface. So
yeah, and I'm actually working on. Hey, Deborah.
Yeah. So, but I'm loving the way you're working the gilding on those pieces. Nice. So, what size is that piece? Is that on watercolor paper you're doing right now?
Yeah, this is on watercolor paper. This is actually cut from a 40 by 60. And normally what I do is I'm able to cut three out or two out of a 40 by 60 watercolor paper. And then I create these. And so I'm going to actually create, because the first one, the original one that I did this way sold. It's like the first thing that sold, because it was a triptych. But the one that I did similar to her, where she was holding the bowl, it wasn't above her head. So actually I'm going to do an entire series of one holding the bowl, one above her head, and then one on the ground. So I'm going to do 3 of these particular ones. So I think it'll be a lot of fun to do.
Cool.
It's like I told my husband, I just hate cutting the paper.
I know. There's something about cutting a large sheet of paper.
I know. That's the biggest thing with this is I really hate cutting the paper because it's so large. It's just, it is what it is though. So, but hey, Deborah, good to see you.
I need to unmute. Sorry.
No,
I was holding it down till you got here.
You have to unmute.
Is she still muted?
Yes, she's still muted and smiling.
No.
Okay. You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, darling.
So anyway, I just got back from my parents' house to see what they had in their refrigerator. So I could eat them. So my dinner tonight will be spaghetti.
Friday, we've made it past our first week. How's things coming along in the studio?
Do they have I'm happy about that. So can I get a day off?
Yeah, you can get a day off. If you submit some video, you would have a day off.
Did you work on some video, Deborah? Remember we talked about it.
She haven't had no video.
I've been thinking about it, but this weekend I'm going to do a video, and on Monday I am going to try to send it to you.
So that means you got to broadcast on Saturday and Sunday for a break on Monday.
But remember, Deborah, when you turn off today, when you tune out today, just put your video on so you could video what you're finishing up on.
You see it when she scratched.
I gotta learn how to work.
I
gotta learn how to work the video first.
Just get one of them sons of yours to show you how to do it. You take the iPad. You got an iPhone. It works the same as your iPhone. You were one of the first artists I knew I had an iPhone, a fancy old iPhone, because I don't have an iPhone. I still have.
Yeah, he doesn't have an iPhone.
I have the Samsung. The Samsung 9 is my tool of choice, and it takes better video than most devices.
Whatever.
Some of the videos that I have aired on the show were shot with the Samsung 9. Say what you want to say, haters.
You can't FaceTime.
Say what you want to say, haters. But the Samsung 9 is a nice camera. Anyway, it works the same as when you do a video on your iPhone. Okay. You press the camera, bloop.
Okay.
You press video, bloop.
Okay.
And you're not limited.
This is going to be some video.
And you're not limited to just do your videos on your iPad. You can also do them on your phone.
And from her laptop.
I don't have any more storage on my phone. It barely works.
She has her laptop.
Oh, God, y'all, I'll get into more trouble with y'all. So anyway.
So show us what you've been working on. What you can do. Can you just give us a show and tell of the pieces that you started and finished already?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Let's see what Deborah got today.
Let's see.
These pieces are good. Huh?
Just do a show and tell.
Can y'all see?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, nice.
So this is going to a gallery, but it's one of my pieces.
Just make sure you photograph it before you send it.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow too.
It's a lot. It's a lot
to do tomorrow. Oh, it's a lot happening every day. So I bought a canvas pad, and I thought it was more like the paper canvas, but this is actually canvas. So this is the next one I'm doing. I haven't decided if this is a man or a woman. So what is it? What do y'all think?
Looks like a man to me.
And looks like a woman to me.
Thank you.
So I guess you're up to grabs.
2-1. Say that again?
It's up for grabs then.
Okay, so when I finish it, I'm gonna show it to you again, and then you can tell me if it turned into a man or woman, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so it's a man paper night, y'all. And since the second week, I hope to have something new on Monday also. See, I need a day off so I can plan.
It sounds like you leaving the whole weekend blank. It sounds like you leaving the whole weekend open.
She sounds like she's trying to jet out on us or something for the weekend.
You can't blame the girl for trying. You can't blame a girl for trying.
So tomorrow, as a matter of fact, tomorrow and Sunday are longer hours.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's what?
Saturday and Sunday are longer hours.
Right?
What'd she say?
Why are you messing up a good thing? These hours are fine.
No, longer hours on Saturday and Sundays. We start a little earlier.
Yeah.
All you got to do is do your little part and you'll be fine.
That's right. We started some new stuff.
I ain't say you got to be on for longer hours. I just need you to do something. You ain't gonna do you have done no videos, no photographs. So
you see, I'm always having to be on live because I haven't sent anything in yet.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
You all
I don't mind being on live. I don't mind.
And some of us are putting it in whether they live or not. There you go.
Who is that? LaShawn?
LaShawn Beal, that's right.
Anyway, you know what?
LaShawn is all over the place.
That's right. LaShawn is he's just doing his thing.
LaShawn is the man of the hour.
Well, Miss Shedrick, I guess since
I'll be the tortoise.
We will check in with you tomorrow and see what you're doing. You didn't show any of the pieces.
You talking about me?
Yeah, you. You didn't show the pieces you worked on that you did as samples earlier in the week.
Oh, well, that'll be next week. They'll be all finished.
Oh Lord, she must have sent them to a gallery already.
No, I haven't. I gotta take the photographs.
Have you been recording them, Deborah?
No, she's got a one-track mind. She hasn't recorded a thing.
I am the tortoise of the group.
No, you're not. You are not the tortoise of the group. Far from it.
Really?
As a matter of fact, yeah, we will name the
got
tortoise.
some people.
We already got a person in the tortoise position. They just don't realize they're in the tortoise position yet. And it ain't you. It ain't you.
You're doing fine, Deborah.
You're in like slot number. You're in slot number 3 or 4 right now, as far as productivity.
Wow.
You said wow.
So anyway, I bid you farewell.
What did you say? You bid us
So
farewell.
tomorrow we will you can do an overview of those other pieces tomorrow. And start shooting your videos as soon as possible.
Start shooting your video, Deborah. That's your task. That's your task.
It's only going to make life easier for you. You've been one of the artists that have been live every day since we started. If LaShawn Beal can slip into
everybody
the
hasn't been live.
No.
Hey, LaShawn.
LaShawn has
Look at him.
LaShawn sent me some videos.
Okay.
You're doing fantastic, Deborah.
You keep on striding. The work looks fantastic, Deborah. You are one of the dynamos of the group. I think you could deserve a lighter day, so we're gonna give you a lighter day today. Only today. Be back in position tomorrow.
Be back in the queue tomorrow. That's because people are looking at your work. People love to have you on.
Oh, that's so nice.
And we got to catch you while you're
reception. Like a little lady. Oh, that's so nice. Say that again. You're low.
You're not actually the old lady of the group either, so you got to get your role right. We have 2 other seniors on the group, and I think they got you beat by quite a bit.
So
he called me a senior.
You got to pick your role. No,
I'm not being called the same age.
I didn't call you a senior. You keep talking about how where you are. I'm just reminding you that we have 2 older seniors in the group.
I'm trying to embrace my reality.
And that reality is what?
I'm a little crazy. I'm a little bit rock and roll.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit. Time to go.
Okay, so you just like the rest of us on the short bus.
Oh Lord.
And we embrace the fact that we're all on the short bus.
I can't tell if this is a Miss or Miss Paulette Matt says, yes, I love Deborah's work in process. So there's one of your fans that already
thank
you.
Oh, Deborah's got plenty of fans.
We got another one here that says, nice Deborah.
Poncho, you and I are forever pushing the same button.
That's what happens when you got 2 people on the queue that's on it. I'd rather you be on it than not on it. All right, Deborah Shudry, we're going to let you slide tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Slide, slippity slide with Deborah.
Now, LaShawn, what's happening with you today, brother? You are muted.
Or am I?
No, you good. You good. You good.
I got you. I got you, LaShawn. I got
you. Thank you, Louise. I dedicated this first week to doing majority of my pieces for collaborations. I have a few more to get done, but this weekend is the weekend. Oh, this week I should say has been a week to accomplish all that. So I'm wrapping up a few more pieces and just trucking along here. Trucking along. I'm excited about what's going to come up next week. As far as the things I plan on creating.
No, this week. We are in day 8. We have already begun the next week.
Oh yeah, well, there you have it.
Well. It's in day 8, not 7.
So, hey, I'm just working it, brother. That's all. Trying to keep up. That's all.
Well, you're doing a great job, man. I can't wait for these to get in people. So you've already hit the mail then. The pieces have already been shipped.
Yeah, I've shipped out some pieces already. I have a few more to go. Obviously, because I got a few more images I need to get completed to put in their packages.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Yeah, you should have yours. Sometime next week. Louise, yours will be shipping out
I'm going to jump
probably
on yours right away.
Monday.
I'm jumping on yours right away because that adds to both of our account at the same time.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, LaShawn, is that when they come out the package,
I'm excited about it, man. I'm having fun. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun.
You know what, Poncho? I think you can work and talk.
Right now my count's ahead of everybody.
And
you need to catch up. I can talk all I want.
I'm just saying.
This is not the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show.
Get back over there. Get at your table.
And you got a ways to go to catch up.
Get back over there at your table. Get back over there at your
What is
table.
that?
24 hours
Louise, is that your latest piece?
Yeah.
She rocking though.
Nice.
You know what else she did?
I don't care what Poncho said. You know what? I'm at
I can't wait to see those small pieces. Have you shot the small pieces yet, Louise?
Huh?
Have you shot the small pieces yet?
I'm gonna take pictures of them. Let me finish them up today. I'm gonna take pictures of them. I got oh look! Oh, I finished it. I took this off. Look, I took it off.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's what confused Frankie. You should have saw Frankie's face. What time are we starting tomorrow?
Wow, that's nice.
That's a question, but from one of our followers. What time do we start tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Saturday, so
what did we do last
do we want to do evening or do we want to do early?
We're going to do is shift it back to early.
Okay, so then let's start.
Was it 4:00?
Yeah, so that would be 2 for me.
Right.
Okay.
4:00 Eastern Standard Time. We will be starting tomorrow. Queen Mother Goddess Opulence Ra. And I don't
2
know.
o'clock Mountain.
No, we don't go by Mountain Time over here. She's the only person from Mountain Time. I think the majority of the people on this show. I think you got well, you're not even LaShawn's in a different time zone than you, right?
Hey, 2 o'clock Mountain.
Yeah.
Mountain. We're gonna switch up.
Yeah.
We can go Mountain. It's gonna be 2 o'clock Mountain Time.
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to add some more because I want it stiffer. So I don't know if I'm going to resin it or if I'm going to put some more of that gack on it.
Okay, it's looking good.
Because I want it stiffer, and then I was looking to see what piece of wood I'm going to put it on. So, and I got this when we were talking to Karen when I said, "Oh, Karen, send me one of those heads." You know, the ones from her garden.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh wow, I'm gonna make because I have so much leather. So I'm like, I'm gonna make a leather head.
Well, that's that cool. A movie? I just love the face that Frankie did yesterday when you pulled that out.
He was like,
what is that?
And then he said he had a poker face, and we were thinking, no, you don't.
No, he said he doesn't have a poker face. I'm like, you're absolutely right.
So this is, I'm looking for, it's like I'm looking forward to doing whatever with this. So I might make a couple more.
That's what I was about to ask. Are you going to do any more of them? Because you need to have at least 6 of them.
I need at least 6.
Yeah, you need 6.
Why? Because I have to start transporting.
We need to have something for the people to buy. You know, don't limit it to just 1 or 2 people.
Oh, okay. I'll have to see.
So, Louise,
don't stop being like.
When you're in this position, how do you switch them around?
Switch what around?
You were switching pictures last night.
Oh, just like we do everything. You just grab it and put it in.
Grab it and put it in. What do you mean grab it and put it in?
Okay, go to me. Okay, go to me and drag me where you are.
go to you and drag you where you
Right.
are.
Put your cursor on me and drag me to where you are on the screen.
Oh, da 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 da.
You know what, Poncho? I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to go back into class or something.
No, I got it now, girl. I'm a fast learner. I'm an old dog learning new tricks.
I don't know if I teach you everything, you won't need me anymore.
That's all right, babe. I share everything I got with you, so.
No, I said if I teach you everything, you won't need me.
No, I always need you, darling. You are stuck with me.
Oh, I love that, LaShawn. I love that hair.
Why won't LaShawn send me that one? I want one with a sleeve on it. Hey, LaShawn, did you send me one with a sleeve on it?
With a what? Oh, is that a sleeve on it?
That's got like a sleeve on it or something.
It does. It looks like
yeah.
Did you send me one of those, man?
Of course.
I need.
Yeah, I sent you a couple of them.
Oh, Sookie, I'm starting them as soon as they come out the package.
Send me a couple. I think everybody just send me one thing.
And I'll shoot a before and after picture of it, LaShawn.
Super. That'll work.
LaShawn, you're the one that kind of encouraged me to do these. Remember, because I talked to you. You kind of encouraged me to do is that clay or glaze, Louise? Oh, that's leather. It's leather. It's a piece of leather that I formed. So, yeah.
Snap. Did I tell you about that?
What?
Yeah. Did I tell you about doing the wet leather?
You had told me when I was doing the other leather, you were like, Louise, wet it and form it and scrunch it up. And I thought about that over and over again. And then I was like, I really want to do a face. And so I started like going online and looking up stuff because I'm like, I know I could form it, but it's with this particular texturized leather, it doesn't form like just the regular leather because it has something on it. And so I used some glue and some other stuff. I just played around with it until I got what I wanted.
Really?
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, think about how Poncho's working on his pieces. He was using gel medium. So that's a good substance to use.
I know. I really like that. And Poncho did the alcohol thing you told me to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Last night. I was like, that's what LaShawn just told me to do today. So I was gonna do that, Poncho, and then you did it as your whatchamacallit.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you got to do it the Louise way.
I know. I'm going to try because I told LaShawn I want to do some, and then I want to put my image in it.
Right.
So I'm going to do that. I think it'll be fun to do those because those are.
Oh, indeed. It will be. Once you start playing with that, you're gonna be like, oh man. You're gonna be like a kid. You're gonna be like a kid, man. You want to put alcohol and everything.
I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is just way too messy.
No, it's not. It's one of those things.
No, it's not.
Alcohol, and you just let it dry. That's the only thing you gotta do is leave it, let it do.
I know, but I definitely gotta clean off my other table to do it.
Oh yeah, because it's a flat technique.
Yeah, so I'm gonna clean off my other table. Because I'm almost done with this one. I'm almost done with her. And since I've done her, I want to do 2 more to go with her. So I'm gonna finish her up tonight.
Well, she's looking good with that white gold on it.
Oh yeah, I love that. I'm about to put a blue variegated metal on there now.
Okay, that should be really hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a blue variegated metal on it, and then I just have to finish the apples, but I'll finish those later on today.
So are those apples around her?
Well, they're either apples
or leaves.
Apples are really large cherries.
I thought they were flower petals.
I did the other one. The other one had really had flowers. The original one had flowers, but this one has more. It's such an abundance of apples; they're falling out.
Very cool.
Oh, okay, so she's gonna let them apples sit her on the head and everything, huh?
No, she's got the thing on her head, so the apples are missing her. She's very graceful.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Only LaShawn would ask that question. You're so violent.
She's very graceful.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
It does. It does.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it.
Louise Cutler is turning it on.
That's right. That's right. I'll have one or look. I'll have one or two pieces.
You're gonna be better than that.
Well, once I get these done, and then I'm doing the collaborative pieces tonight. I mean, this weekend, so I can send them all out.
Sounds good. You got an envelope coming from me? LaShawn has an envelope coming from me. Louise, yours is just going to be straight pencil work like you did on yours. And LaShawn, ours are going to be pencil too.
Oh, you're just going to do some pencil, huh?
Okay.
You made me have paint on the one I'm sending you.
No, yeah. I'm gonna paint on top of yours.
Look at us talking about some where's the apple tree. I tell you, people.
That's your sister. Hi, Linda A. Johnson.
I talked to her today. She said, Louise, I must be crazy. She said, I watch you all day long. She said, I'm not even an artist, and I'm sitting up here watching you all day long.
That's okay. We like that.
I said, well, that's all right.
So, LaShawn, how many pieces do you think you prepped?
Yes, sir.
How many pieces do you think you prepped?
I prepped 20 so far.
Okay.
Well, it sure seems like it's like 100.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been 20. Yeah.
You didn't get a chance to see the video. I played a video of the collaborations you and I did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you? I was looking at something.
Do you want to see it again?
I had those videos. Yeah, put it on. Definitely.
All right. You gotta look at the screen now. This is a rerun.
This is a creative quarantine rerun.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad you put that together because then, allow some of the other artists to see the possibility of doing collaboration pieces.
Yeah, I'm going to be showing that on and off. We also had Mr. Murray submit some pieces, some of his finished pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And so we played that a little earlier today too.
Oh, great.
So along the way, we will be creating individual videos of each artist and their creations. We're just beginning to start putting those up. So stay tuned. This week, we'll be posting finished works by some of the artists.
That's great.
All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna let y'all all take a small break. I got another little thing I can show. But y'all.
Oh wait, let me do the gild. I'm gonna gild this.
Okay.
So you can see me gild this part. I just want to see if I want to use this metal or not. I might want to use something deeper, of a deeper color. There's one. Oh wait, I forgot to do my. Gotta video it. So this one I can hold in my hand. It's not like the white gold. Because this one's thicker and it won't tear. The white gold and the regular gold will tear. I don't have to be so easy with it. And it's less expensive, so I don't have to be sparing. Sort of like with your paint, Poncho.
Yeah, but that's much more expensive.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. Especially now. It didn't used to be as expensive as it is now.
Oh yeah, the gold price went through the roof.
Huh? Yeah. It's well. This is just a Dutch metal, but it's a lot more expensive than it used to be. Hold on.
I was very impressed by your collection of leaf.
Oh yeah,
I need to drop by your house one day when y'all off getting some food.
I do a lot, and I like to make sure I have. I like to make sure I have a variety of colors. So, like some people don't care, but I like to have a variety of different colors.
Now I thought you said you were going to do that blue.
It is a blue.
Oh, okay. I can't see from this angle, but that you're good. You're good. Oh, I see it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so there's the blue is in there. But I'm gonna look. I thought I had a whole packet right there, but it didn't have a whole packet. So I'm gonna have to dig through my colors and look for another set of blue. So go ahead and show your video, and then I'll you'll see when I'm all done.
It actually is LaShawn.
Oh well, go ahead and show LaShawn's video.
Yeah, I'm gonna show my video.
Show LaShawn's video.
Alrighty.
Hey everyone. Okay, I'm back. I decide which directions I want to go as far as doing.
Put some more blue in there. Just like that blue.
Little color in here just to take up some space.
Blue.
I don't want to do too much to it because, again, someone else is going to be working on this. And I want them to have the space they need to do their thing.
Pancho, when you get your pieces, I want to know, is it easier to work with the color around the object or without the color?
I think it's going to be easier with.
That's what I kind of suspected.
Yeah.
The idea is just to give them a little something to work around.
I came across some more video of us doing the collaborations in your studio. I don't know if you have it or not, but I'm gonna forward that to you between
Some
now and tomorrow.
Yeah, if you got some video, send it.
Yeah.
Look at Louise.
She's working at foil, leafing.
Yes,
There we go. So can you see the blue now?
looks great. Yeah, I see it now. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I see the little swirls in it.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Now I'll just go back in and put the lines in. So.
Very good.
Louise, what lines are you putting into it? You mean like a design in the dress or what?
You know, like where the folds are?
Oh, okay.
I'll put the fold lines back. That's why I put some of the little black lines in, because then I know where my fold lines are.
And that is
okay.
Yeah. But now I'll have little metal leaf all over my studio. I love her.
You know, you gotta know your tools and your paints. You know, working in it.
We got Ryan Murray in the queue.
This is the yellow I was using, which is a heavy body yellow. It's very opaque, which means that it's really dense. This is another yellow that is. This is really expensive paint right here. Cadmium yellow, medium. This is a yellow medium, but it's not top grade like this one is. And but it costs a fraction of what that costs. So it has its place in what I'm working on, in that I just need a paint to take up space and not necessarily for row effect. I don't need the brilliancy of color.
another finished one.
LaShawn is cranking them out.
Louise, I'm just trying to do my part.
It's kind of amazing that your brother, I think it's your brother that's doing all that work over there. The dual.
Yeah, there's two of them working all the time.
That's why he's out there. That's how he's cranking it out, Poncho.
How you doing down there, Ryan?
Pretty good. I'm really feeling this one.
Oh.
I'm painting on a panel tonight, which I have never done.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Ryan's like,
Ryan keeps it real simple. He's like, hey, what's up? And every now and then he'll peek his face down so we can see he's not just a fur cut.
I think we have a nose, though. I think we see a nose.
Yeah,
there he is. There he is.
He is a real person. He is not just a fur sleeve.
I don't know. I thought these those pair of pants he's wearing. I don't think Ryan comes out. Ryan, have you been going out meeting the world?
Only to get groceries.
That's what I'm talking about, Ryan. Only for the necessity.
Ryan's like, no. Just for what I need and back in the house.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, look, here's the original one. That's my first one. My little lady. You see it, Poncho?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a small piece. Relatively small.
No. That's just a journal. This one was the same size as that one. It was the same size as that. See?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, this is just on a journal.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. And the apples are in a basket. That makes sense.
No, those are flowers.
Oh, those are flowers.
Try to keep up, LaShawn. Just try to keep up.
Yeah, these are flowers. I'm not sure if they're apples or not.
Well, we got a video.
I'm doing like in the Bible. It's a fruit.
Oh, okay.
It's a fruit. But the other one, apples. Linda. Mm-hmm.
Got a nice close up of Ryan painting one of his earlier pieces.
Oh, let me put another color on here. Ryan, you have a question. Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It says, she says, is that person on the light pole you're painting the other day? What is the story behind it? The young girl that you're painting.
Yeah, well, I had a 4-hour Zoom meeting this is the gist of it. I had this 4-hour Zoom meeting for work the other day, and we were talking about diversity and inclusion. And one of the exercises that the facilitator had everyone do was to Google cute baby and count how many images popped up before you saw a black baby. And it really resonated with me. So the girl with the balloon kind of spawned out of an interest to take that, to keep going with that. So I did girl with balloon, and then started to paint the first black girl with the balloon that I saw. That's pretty much it.
So exactly how long did it take before you saw a black baby?
Well, I want to say 25 to 30 seconds of nonstop scrolling.
Wow.
Yep.
So Ryan, what are you using? Acrylic?
Yep, I'm painting on a panel, which I have never done before.
And what kind of panel is it?
It's like wood masonite, I think.
Okay.
Picked it up at the store the other day.
Looks really nice.
Thanks.
Okay, Ryan, you got another question. It says, that's a nice picture. Is the black girl coming out of the water?
Thank you. And yeah, basically, back when we could do in-person doctor's appointments, in therapy, I used to make collages, and those collages some of them turned into like full-scale stencils. This is one of them that I'm choosing to freehand. And it was like a yoga ad that I cut and pasted on this beauty ad with a black woman in it.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Thank you.
That is really shaping up nicely, Ryan.
Thank you.
You are the man.
This is the favorite one, my favorite one that I've done in quarantine so far.
So give me a rundown of what your first week was like. Emotionally and otherwise.
Very, very nerve-wracking. I mean, I never put myself on camera for this long, for this often. So a lot of mental humps to get over.
Okay.
But as I started to get my bearings and started talking about things I was comfortable with, it just got easier. And then I got to this point.
Well, I think the work that you're doing, everybody's getting to see you in process. Yeah. You know, those first few pieces you got done are really nice.
Thank you.
What do you hope to achieve in week 2?
No. Pieces of it done so far, 3. Maybe I'll have 10 done by the end of next week.
Woo! Go ahead, Ryan.
It helps to add numbers to your goals. Otherwise, it's hard to keep track of them. You know.
Well, you will be receiving an envelope from me of already coded papers. Do as you will.
Right.
And then I'm going to send you an image to cut on your little device.
Oh, awesome.
We've had some fun on a couple of things. Since I know you don't work small, and you just didn't define that with the piece you're working on now. What size is this piece you're working on now?
This is 11 by 14.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
And you say you're accustomed to working large. You're not accustomed to working small, right?
Yeah, well, with freehand stuff, not this small. No, I mean, with the stencils, I mean, the records are pretty small, I guess. But I've never gotten this up close and personal with the paintbrush.
Mm-hmm. So how does it feel?
Feels good. I'm like really in the zone right now.
Yeah, well, we've been watching you, man. You have definitely been in the zone. But that's what folks need to understand. It's not like, we don't normally narrate everything that we do in between these shows. This is a new challenge for all of us trying to articulate this so you guys can follow what's happening. But pretty much of our process happens in the zone.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, we're going to be looking forward to seeing what you have to offer in the coming days. We're going to let you get back into your zone.
Right.
Let me ask you this, man. What's your sleeping hours looking like?
I'm actually managing to get to bed before 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and waking up around like 8 or 9. So like I'm getting in 7 or 8 hours a night.
Okay, that's good.
That's pretty good.
We figured since you were the youngest of the group that you would probably be working around the clock.
No, college days are over.
Brian said that day is over. He understands sleep patterns now.
Yeah.
I really like the colors. I like how you're having fun with those colors in that background.
Yeah, thanks. This is really fun.
All right, Ryan. Well, we will see you again tomorrow. Shoot us more videos. That was a big plus.
Yeah.
And how's that piece shaping on the table? You just you incubating on it a little bit, the big one behind you?
Yeah, it's fun to look at, to just glance up at every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
He's waiting to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Ryan, you have a good evening, man. We'll be checking you out tomorrow.
Okay, Ryan.
Bye.
I guess that just leaves us too, huh?
I guess so.
What time is this? 9:30. It's gonna be a while before the night shift kicks in.
What? Well, what you got on the row?
I got the remainder of LaShawn Beal's process that I could play.
Okay, let's watch the rest of LaShawn.
Everyone, I'm back again here. Still working on the colors. Now I am just splashing a little color in the background of these pieces. Again, my paint technique is a dry brush technique.
I'm actually cheating, Louise, because I'm sitting here imagining what I'm going to do on this thing. I'm already have a pretty good idea where I'm going to go when I open up my envelope. You are muted.
You just never want to help a sister out.
You know what? Sometimes it seems like yours is, I can't change it. Like I can't change one of your feeds.
Yours is the same way. Like I can't unmute you. I can mute you, but I can't unmute you all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. And I think it's because we're both in the
same queue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, the host muted you. So we're waiting for Mr. Sheldon.
Yeah, we're waiting for Mr. Sheldon, but we are into the we had a pretty good diverse show today.
We really did.
A lot of people are beginning to give content, which makes the job a lot easier. You guys get a little bit more information.
Mm-hmm. I really liked content too. Let me put my hat on. I really liked. Is it Michelle? Hold on, I'll tell you who I'm talking about.
That's what happens when you're staring at the screen all day.
Michelle, I really liked Michelle's content.
Oh yeah. And I've actually been holding on to that for a couple of days. So it's nice to be able to finally show it and give her a break for the day because she's been on live every day too.
Oh, look, you didn't see my ring. I've been wearing it every day. Look at that.
Nice.
My Corinthia Peoples.
Very nice. I've been wearing just paint wear. I haven't had any jewelry. I'm wearing my worker glasses. It's got little specks of paint on it.
You know, I put this on the other day for something, and then I just kept it on. I've just been wearing it because I seem to like it on. I usually wear it over here, but I like it on this finger, so it's my finger. It's my pinky finger ring now.
Well, our friend should be logging in soon. I do have a vid I can show up to now. That's just probably 2 minutes. I give him enough time to get his bearings together. This is from Creative Quarantine, Baltimore.
Oh, nice.
See if I can get this thing together. I'm gonna be an expert at this by the end of the month.
I know.
This was with Karen Buster, an artist by the name of Maurice Bradford.
Okay.
Myself. We did a weekend quarantine.
Now, is this at your studio?
My old studio. So we checked in on Friday night, left on Monday night.
So did you guys sleep in the studio?
No, they all went home. I stayed at the studio pretty much all evening.
Okay.
The whole weekend.
Ooh.
But we talking about crazy hours at night. And Lauren Live was also with us.
Okay.
James Murphy Jr. He's a Baltimore artist. So it was 5 of us that weekend.
So is this the largest group you've had?
Yes, 12 is the largest. We've had a group of 10, but that was only a weekend quarantine.
Okay. That's pretty neat. I like that.
Yeah, Maurice is a mentee of mine. I've been working with him since he was about 8 years old. He's probably, 38 now, going on 40.
Really?
Still doing his art.
That's pretty fabulous. Now, where did you guys show this work?
Most of the quarantine works, those things don't even exist anymore. They've been sold.
Mm-hmm.
This was back in 2006.
So that's what I'm saying. Did you have a show?
This was the same year as the first quarantine in California.
I'm saying, did you guys have a show or?
No, we did not. This was just a weekend lock-in and create what you can create in one weekend.
Okay. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, so that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to give people a flavor of what's happened in some of the other quarantines.
Well, because there was so much going on.
You're rubbing your eyes, and it's only 9:40.
Oh no, my eyes were itchy.
Well, you should be commended. You have done a wonderful job for week 1. You know, if we can get you to clean up them videos, you might have.
You know what? I know.
In fact, I'm going to play your video.
No, don't play.
It's the night shift.
Don't play messy videos, Poncho.
Did you?
No, you can't. I took it off. Which video? Which one are you playing? I took that other one off.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Oh, I take stuff off. I'm not into. You should have kept my welcome video up there.
Well, we're in that kind of time. We're going to give our friend a couple more minutes to log in. And if not, we may just call it for tonight. All of the artists.
Yeah, because he's normally in by now, isn't he?
He's normally in by now, but everybody's on a different zone. It is Friday. This is the beginning of week 2.
Mm-hmm. You're right. It is Friday. He might be out somewhere.
Frankie didn't tune in today, so Frankie needed a break. He's been on every day as well. So we got 12 artists.
Friday. It's Friday. They might be having a Friday.
That's right. 12 artists is enough to make content very easily. So,
right. So, well, content isn't the problem. It's getting it all. I've been making content.
Yeah, well, that is a challenge.
Well, I finally got all the stuff out to the gallery, I think.
Well, that's good. I hope they don't see this.
I know. I don't know. I talked to them. I talked to them today because they needed something else. They were like, Louise, the exhibit looks amazing. I was like, great. Can't wait to see it. Oh, Aaron played my video today. My live stream, my virtual gallery video today.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I was like, that's cool.
Well, for those of you that have been watching the show all week and you're not really, aware of who the artists are, we're going to refresh your memory.
I like that one.
That's right.
I like
I gotta find us some more creativity quotes for next week.
I like that one.
So Rosemary didn't check in today, which was a surprise. Usually I see her face pop into the studio every now and then. But we got a big weekend coming. So what you got?
She left some comments.
Yeah, I saw those comments. Yeah, but she's watching the show now. I didn't say she wasn't watching the show.
She didn't pop in. She probably was a little
matter of fact, we got some. Hey, if you're out there watching and you've been watching the whole time, put a comment in so we can pop you up on the screen. We know we got some loyal fans out there because we got 15 plus people watching. It's probably about 25 people out there watching all around. Post a comment to let us know you are one of our loyal followers so we can know what's up.
Oh yeah, and make sure you're around, invite your friends. We're going to be doing, I since Deborah started it, I got a piece that I'm going to give away.
Well, that's a good thing to start. I think I'll do a giveaway as well. So we just have to see how we can pace that out for the rest of the week and spread the love.
Spread the love. I was like, when I was working, I said, look, I'm here.
You got one out there. We might as well put it up. That Rosemary.
Don't have a breakdown, Rosemary.
I told you she was watching the show.
We need you. You can't be breaking down.
That's right. That's right. Well, Carla Jones has been in the house all week.
In the house.
We got to do something special for Carla Jones. She might have to be. Wait a minute. Here they come.
Let us know you out there.
How you doing out there? I know you've been following us from the beginning.
We like to know you guys are out there hanging out with us.
We appreciate that. We appreciate your support. Who else is out there? We're just curious to see who's out there.
Yeah, let us know. Give us a shout out.
I already knew Carla Jones was out there because she's been rolling strong.
Carla's been hanging out with us day and night.
She's been coming in from watching YouTube. That's right.
And Queen Mother's just been
Detroit is in the house.
The house, yes.
That's right. I love them doing shows. I got Sherwood Forest Gallery supports me down there. Joe's Limited Edition supports me there. Ian Grant at Springfield Mall. Your Mosier Fine Art.
Oh, you're just all over Detroit.
Oh yeah. I got a lot of connections in Detroit. I got a funny story too that I tell every now and then. One night was real hungry, and you probably heard the story already, but the people who are watching probably haven't.
I haven't. Go ahead.
So LaShawn says, "Have you ever had a shrimp bucket?" And I said, "A shrimp bucket? What the hell is a shrimp bucket?" He proceeds to jump into a car. He goes into this place. He comes out with it looks like a bucket of chicken, but it's shrimp. So we go back to the hotel and we end up eating a bucket of shrimp. And I told you we were watching South Park. You remember that story?
Right.
He introduced me that night to South Park. I had never seen South Park before. So here I am in a hotel making all this noise in a room with another man eating a shrimp bucket watching South Park.
See, that's friends, though. That's friends.
That's right.
You don't do that kind of stuff with friends. You don't do that kind of stuff with a friend.
We're going to get ready to wind this thing down. It's about 3 hours, almost 4 hours in. Tomorrow we'll be starting again at 2 Central Time. I think is that Central or Mountain?
4 Central Time, 2 Mountain.
Okay.
Oh, look who popped in. Look who popped in.
Yeah, but we don't know whether she's ready to go in or not because she's got her screen off. So she's in, but she's not in.
Nobody.
She must not have a crown on and her lights up.
Oh, you know what? What we haven't done. We haven't had our conversation as avatars. What's up? What's up?
Well, I'm sexier as an avatar as I am in person.
Yeah. Everybody thinks that, but my avatar is way more.
Yeah, your avatar is, but mine's got a sense of humor. I can't be one thing to all people.
Well, then I'm just gonna I'm just gonna have to be cool then.
Sometimes you just gotta rotate it around, let people see the other sides of you. Yes, yes.
Yes, but since I'm on this avatar, you know I don't have as many.
Yeah, you just got two. And I even got one that makes you look mellow like I'm sleeping. There you go.
I don't have as many avatars as you, and you know why? Because every time I pop in here,
all this means is that we got way too much time on our hands. While we've been waiting for Mr. Sheldon Smith to tune in, he must be having some technical difficulties. I saw him pop into the studio earlier today.
Oh, really?
And he was outside painting some panels.
Oh, nice. Did you pull him up?
No, at the time I didn't because his feed looked like it disappeared.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure he'll have something for us coming up soon. He's been another one that's been live every day since we started. So we've been trying to give a couple of artists breaks so they don't have to broadcast. This is something that you can't imagine. Artists came into this project thinking they were just going to be creating. They didn't realize that this whole virtual piece was going to come into place. Right. We were supposed to meet in a location, all 12 of us, and paint in that location and vibe personally, non-public. And then we had to go virtual because of the COVID crisis. Like everybody else, we had to try to find a way to still present this project. And I think in the process of doing that, this really has turned into something we didn't imagine. So
something totally different because just like you said, we would have all been locked in a room and it was just been us and none of the world.
I think 2 or 3 fist fights might have started by now. But we good to go. Everybody's is catching on to the technology piece of it and doing their best part to present their work, which is an extra job that they didn't intend to do. So I want to thank all of them for being patient with the process. Sheba Meyer has been having some problems with her equipment, so we're going to try to see if we can get her some sort of replacement equipment so we can get her back online. But other than that, other than the tech challenges and the sleep challenges, we've been fine.
The sleep challenges. Oh, she said, I'm not going to be able to pop in.
That's all right. So with that being said, y'all, we are just going to wrap up the show. We're going to do our thing. So we will see you guys tomorrow at 2.
Yes. 2? No, Poncho.
4. That's why I get confused. You tell the Central. You tell your time zone. I tell mine.
Right.
4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
2 o'clock Mountain.
Boom. That's what I'm saying. We got to stay in our own lane, right? I can't give you a time zone.
That's right. Stay out. Get out of my. Boom. Look, ejection.
Until tomorrow, y'all, we are signing off. We will be seeing you this weekend. Have a great night.